The game I have chosen to play as my first journal is Final Fantasy VII. It is the 7th installment of the Final Fantasy franchise, created by the gaming company Square Enix. The reason I chose this game is because it was the first video game that I ever really got into as a kid, and is still high up there in my favorites list. Final Fantasy VII was originally made for the PlayStation 1 back in 1997. Right now I'm playing the original, but it's on my PS4. It has a host of interesting characters and locations. It's a RPG game detailing in strategy-based fighting. All the dialogue for this version of the game is also in text, and you can change the characters' names in the game if you wanted. I think for this journal, I'll focus on the RPG gameplay dialogue. The RPG gaming was very much the game style of Final Fantasy 1 through, I believe, 9 or 10. In fact, a lot of the Square Enix company's games are RPG or RPG-like. It works for Final Fantasy VII because as you travel the world, you build your character's strengths and stats up. Once you face the final boss, you're powerful enough to beat him. Also, this gives you the ability to explore the entire world that the developers created as a means of leveling up. The text for dialogue was very good for me as a kid because it helped me with my reading development as well as my character voice. This also fits with the command-based gameplay and the personalized journey feel. The game was trying to give you giving you the option to change the characters' names was also a good reason for text dialogue rather than voice acting at the time, because the characters would say the names you gave them. Granted, whenever I play, I always leave their names alone. Another thing I love about this game is it has 2 characters that you have the option to find or not in the world as you play. They don't affect the overall story, but if you get them, they do add interesting stories of their own to the main one, as well as having a overpowered set of abilities. Well, one of them does. That can be unlocked as you play that character. As I play Final Fantasy VII, it takes me back to when I was a kid and would play this game on my oldest brother's PS1. When I played it back then, I felt suspense because I didn't know what was going to happen or what to expect. Now, playing it older, I know what's going to happen, what to expect. The nostalgia of the familiarity as well as the structure keeps it a nice, calm, slow playthrough. This game is very much the original Magic Circle theory as far as putting you in a different world outside of your own, but at the same time, the reason it still goes against it is it brings about very real-world issues at the time, but in their world. For example, the main group that you're a part of, Avalanche, is kind of like a go green movement against the Shinra Power Company. So because of that, brings about, the question for young children about, what we're doing to our environment and stuff like that, but in a very unique and creative way in a different world. But there are a lot of emotions in this game. There is that. In the end, if you enjoy a slow dungeon crawler type RPG mixed with a very interesting story, then Final Fantasy VII is for you. If not, then that's alright. I will say though, Square Enix is making a Final Fantasy VII remake that I will be covering some of for the second game journal. So if you're interested, stay tuned!